till the lights go down, 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 till the lights go down, down.
With Demon Joe, just to let you know, right after this little intro, I'm showing you guys an exclusive interview. You guys better enjoy this video. It's an exclusive interview.
You should get a little bit more lighting.
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna do that right now. Oh, fuck. It's recording.
Alright, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, Demon Joe, here on FaceTime. This is an exclusive interview. I'm also currently doing a live stream on YouTube playing WWE, doing this interview as well. So, it's a double interview, but I'm recording, I'm doing this with your boy Slouch, aka does videos, aka Artie, my boy. We've known
good,
for the
Brody.
longest time. So, for starters, what, bleh, how do I put this? What is your concept of XXXTentacion? Like, what was your reaction when he died?
I mean, during that time, what it was like June 18th?
Yes, June 18, 2018.
During that time, I had mono, and you know, I was just listening to his music the whole weekend just to just feel better, because it was making me feel better. And then fucking, I find out the news. I'm sitting in my living room and I get a notification from World Star like X shot, no pulse, and then immediately a bunch of theories are coming out like, oh, his album's no pulse, all that bullshit. And then it came out that he actually died, and bro, I cried for like 5 straight days. I still think about it to this very day. I don't think I'm ever gonna stop thinking about him. You know, he just helped me musically so much. He's a real inspiration for me. When I make music, it kind of derives from his standpoint in a way. So that's what I got. It was heartbreaking. He's like my idol. He's my idol.
What do you think of his music?
I think his music, in a way, a lot of people are listening to it right now, but it's still very underrated. I feel like no one's really understanding the concept of how versatile and how passionate he was toward his music. Every single song he put out had a meaning, and it was in a timeline. You could tell from a young age he was a very heartbroken kid. He really just didn't really fit into society. He just didn't understand life. And the rawness and the distortion of his music from an early life really shows a really angered individual. And as he gets older, with all the blessings that came his way, he started really, being melodic, singing a lot more. Like, he really coped. He really went into depth with his versatility, and he just made music that related to so many people. And he made music, every song with a message. And there are some songs that you don't think there is a message, but there's always a hidden message in every song. No one can make a song without there being a message. It's impossible. And that's what I got out of it.
What was your thoughts on X when he started changing himself?
I feel like I was already a very big X fan, but once he started, doing the Helping Hand Challenge, once he started, helping out these inner city kids that, really don't have a lot, and, that are less fortunate than me and you, I felt like he was really trying to make the impact to help the world. And the media won't show you that video on YouTube. That video may have millions of, views and stuff, but the media doesn't show that side of X, and it's really upsetting, because that he really, like, understood where he was coming at. And I honestly feel that he knew he was gonna die, so he wanted to leave this earth on a positive note, because he was just so more woke and so awake. At 20 years old, I've never seen somebody so intellectual in my whole life. He's like a very rare breed of human, I feel like, and he just knew the right things to say, the right words to use at that time when he, was, doing the whole conversion, with his eyes shaved and all that stuff. So that was very interesting to watch, and I'm happy I watched it, because it changed my life.
So, why did you decide to start a YouTube channel?
I started the YouTube channel. My first ever YouTube channel I started back in seventh grade. So that's probably like 2013, probably 2013, 2014, something around there. I wanted to do it because I wanted to do gaming at first, but I wasn't really familiar with the gaming scene. I would just play video games on like I'd screen record like gameplay from like from my Mac, the same Mac I'm using right now actually, and I would just play like mini clip games, like flash games. I kind of grew out of that because I stopped playing video games that much, and then kind of transitioned to like skits, and then it went into vlogs, and then I used to do basketball videos. I used to do more skits. I do funny videos, me going in the city doing dumb shit, and then I stopped. I primarily stopped because um, I was very self conscious of what people were gonna think about me. I was going through a very hard time in my life mentally because I was really trying to fit in. And the whole point about growing up is learning from mistakes and learning from past experiences to make you the better person that you grow up to be. And now since I'm starting it back up to promote my album, I feel great. I kind of blocked out all the outside noise about my and all the negative people that talk shit about my music and everything, because I realize I have a lot of people that look up to me and look up to my music. Like I've been stopped in the street already by a couple of people telling me how much like my music really helps them like cope with like stuff that goes on in their life. So it really means a lot. So now I'm just trying to take this as far as I can. And I feel like me doing my YouTube channel again just gonna give me more exposure, and it's really gonna help the album grow and really show before the album really comes out how it's gonna be portrayed.
Okay, before we start talking about your album, what made you think of the name Slouch, and why did you decide to start doing music?
Um, I chose the name Slouch because I have this thing with my back. It's my upper back is more developed than my lower back, and so it kind of gives my back a little bit of a hunch. And if you see me in school or if you see me out in public and I'm not paying attention to like my posture, I'm always slouched over. I'm always hunched over. So, and I always used to get called. I was always called Slouch in school. So I just embraced it. I was like, you know what? Let me embrace the thing that I feel is like not a disability, but like a handicap, like a minor handicap of mine. Let me embrace it so I don't think it's that big of a problem. If you embrace something that if you embrace an insecurity, the insecurity goes away and it just becomes a part of you, and that's what I did. So when it comes to the whole back situation, so I just named myself Slouch. Right?
Yeah.
I started making music when I was 5 years old. I used to do songwriting and stuff. I started singing at first, and then it kind of transitioned from like the pop music to when I was getting older. I started listening to rap music probably like seventh grade. Started off with like Eminem, Chris Brown, um, even like B.O.B. like those like pop rap artists. That's what I really started on, and then as I got older, I started listening to more underground music. I used to listen to a lot of like when it comes to rapping, I used to listen to more Lil Wayne, J. Cole, um, Joey Badass, and well, Lil Wayne's not underground. He's very mainstream. Even back like in eighth grade, underground probably X. I started listening to very consistently. Um, Suicide Boys. Who else? Just in that area, you know what I mean. So just in that little area, and I just started growing and started writing more music, and then I really wanted to make it a career of mine, and because I feel like I have a message that people should hear, especially for my age when it comes to depression and anxiety. I feel like if I spread my message of positivity and just my music is a way for people to understand that they're not the only ones that feel alone in their thoughts. Like there are millions of other people that feel this way, and I feel like the reason why depression is such a problem now is because people who have it don't think that there's anyone around that can understand them. But trust me, there's a million people in this world that really do get it, and I just want people to really understand it when they talk, when they hear my pain, when they hear the things I've gone through, when they hear the struggles, when they hear the stuff that I talk about. So that's why I started maintain. That's why I really started.
So do you? Okay. What was your? I. Um, how did you feel when you released your first song?
My first song. Okay, so are we talking about on my? Okay, this is a little confusing because I dropped a song in the end of sophomore year. It's called Volume One. I did it with my friend James, and it was my first ever song that I released, and I regret making that song to this very day. It doesn't
Okay,
show
just
my
kind of.
music.
Okay, let me. Sorry to interrupt you.
Sure, no, no,
Uh,
no. I got it.
let me break it down. First song on SoundCloud, because honestly, I didn't really know that you were actually a person that would make music or anything. I didn't know that part of you until like the past year or so,
Uh huh. Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
that's when you like told me about that. All I know was your YouTube channel. Started finding out more about you because we haven't been in touch. And how did you feel about your first SoundCloud song that you
Yeah, yeah,
dropped?
yeah. The song I'm talking about was on SoundCloud. Is on
Oh,
SoundCloud.
oh, okay.
It's on a different account. That's why it's on my original Slouch God account. Oh, another thing. I my original name was Slouch God, and then I changed it to Slouch because I didn't like the God. It kind of like, because I it kind of represented a false image of what my music is, and I don't want to represent like any Lils or Gods or Youngs. Just Slouch, just plain and simple, unique, just my own thing, you know. So I dropped that song, and it doesn't portray what my feelings were at the time. It was a hype song. I was like, man, it's Slouch God, and I'm coming for your head top. Man, I'm always working. Got me feeling like a sweatshop, like over a trap beat. It was really shitty quality. And I was talking about guns and shit, and how I murder and how pop pistols. Like that wasn't me. So, and it got really bad, like criticism. It was a really bad song, and I learned, and ever since that day, like I just wanted to grow and excel and really talk about how I feel instead of trying to have people hear the same generic shit over and over again. So ever since that song, I've been slowly progressing.
I mean, I haven't really listened to like all of your music, only the one that you have, the music that you have dropped the past few months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Because like my, I myself have been focusing on like myself being my mentality, my physical strengths, this and that. I've been
Mm-hmm.
going through personal shit here and there. I haven't been focusing on your stuff. I mean, yeah, I've been spreading your stuff and like
And
making sure
I thank
people.
you for that. Thank you for getting 2001. I begun to over. I think it's like 1,300 now.
Damn, damn, that's surprising because I swear, what your music, Joey's music, like anyone that I know personally, all your music I be sending to everyone. I be spreading that shit like it's AIDS. Like I spread that shit like no tomorrow.
That's
Like
awesome, bro. I thank you for that.
I post it on Snapchat. I send it to everyone on Snapchat, Instagram, my backup Instagram, YouTube, anything you know it, I've done it. And I've been like slacking on YouTube here and there. I've been doing streams here and there. That's because I've been going through some personal issues, this and that. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna really speak on that type of stuff because
No,
it's way
100%. It's
personal.
always good. It's always good to clear your mental before actually pursuing other things, because if you're not good mentally, everything that you put your mind to is not going to be 100%. It's because you still have a task at hand, and it comes to being self-aware of yourself more than being aware of other things, other outside noise that's going on. So it's always good to have self perseverance before starting or attempting anything else.
Yeah, that's why a few months ago, that's why I quote unquote quit YouTube, blah blah blah, because I just needed, to get away from social media, needed to take a break. And as you know, I haven't even posted a lot on Snapchat as of late. Like I've been like taking breaks off that, because like honestly, because like me personally, I don't have a job. I get my money from my parents. That's how my life is, and I don't have a job. I should get one, but like it's like whenever I have money, I feel like it goes to my head, and I think of, oh shit, I could get anything with this, and then before you know it, that money is gone like that.
You gotta, especially at this age now, um, we're prepping ourselves for the future. So there's some habits that we can't take for the future. Like I always tell myself that I always want to stay as humble as I can, so I try and be as humble as possible now, so when I'm in the future I'm able to, gel more to people, so I don't come off as, misleading or like an asshole. And so in your situation, I feel like, the money thing, money can only get you so far. Money can only help with certain amount of things. You understand? Like you'll spend money on something. It's a material. Materials deteriorate. Materials get old. Materials get used up and broken. You gotta understand. You gotta save your money for something like for something that's like, for longevity, for like longer things that will last long. Like save your money for a car. Save your money for a house. These little gadgets that we get now, like clothes. The clothes are gonna wear away. Clothes aren't gonna fit anymore. Clothes are gonna go out of style. So I don't really like spending too much money on clothes. I go to Pack Center and I get like, a $20 T-shirt, $20 shorts. They're nice. They're cool. I don't need to buy all the Supreme shit. If they're nice clothes with good quality and they're cheap, I'm all for it. So
Yeah. Like, honestly, yeah. Like, whenever I've gotten money personally, like nowadays, I'm like, like, let's say I get $10 a day, I split it in half. I save $5 for that day, and then I take that other five, I put it in my bank account. That's what I've been doing nowadays.
that's good.
Yeah, like to keep shit to myself, and plus my girlfriend at the time. Yeah, everyone knows on YouTube, blah blah blah. It's long distance, and soon enough, everyone will meet her. Blah blah blah. If you keep posted on my Instagram, y'all know who she is. So, but y'all will meet her soon enough.
Is there
So
anything else you want to ask?
um, there's actually nothing really that much that I want to ask. Like, it was mainly like your music, X. That was really about it.
All right, perfect.
So there you have it, guys.
Make sure you can check me out on Spotify at Slouch, capital SLUCH. If you see me on Spotify, my profile picture is an orange icon. It's an orange profile picture with the word coordinates on it because that's my first mixtape that I dropped on there. On SoundCloud, it's Slouch and it's me. It's the side profile of my face. You'll link it in the description probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, go
The
check
only
me
thing
out.
I won't probably link is the iTunes because I don't have iTunes downloaded. So
Oh yeah, well I understand
I
that.
went
Yeah.
towards Spotify Premium. So
Well yeah, hopefully you enjoy my music. So for the fans, hopefully you can enjoy my music and really understand where I'm coming from. I just dropped a little mixtape called Red Mango Flows. It's like a melodic type, old school type vibe. You can check that out too. It's all over. It's all over on every streaming platform you can imagine. So,
you also were a feature too.
huh?
You also featured on something as well.
Oh, I also featured on someone else's EP. My a close friend of mine, Ori. Her name is Styx River, STYX River. Um, yeah, I featured on a song "Coat Part 2." Yeah, it was a part two to the first one that I made.
The Every Time song.
Oh, and also yeah, I did a I did a feature with my friend Gus. He graduated from the same school I did. Yeah, we made a song every time. Yeah, that song's a bump. I tried to start like the Every Time challenge where someone dances to my song and I post them on my SoundCloud. My Snapchat and my Instagram stories. So if you want to do it, send me the video and I'll be more than happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll link to all this shit later on whenever I decide to post this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this exclusive interview with Slouch.
All right, I'll see you guys.